Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Lamson Family Farms. Today is Sunday, June 2nd. We're already in June. I have a lot to update you guys about. It's been a couple of weeks, been pretty busy, getting a lot of projects done. But the most important update is that 2 weeks ago, she was born on a Sunday morning, we got our calf out of Hyacinth. So Hyacinth had a beautiful heifer calf, first one from her, very excited. Let's see, it was exactly 2 weeks ago. So I walked out with my milking equipment to go milk the goats and looked over to where the cows were outside, and there was a calf on the ground. So ran over. She had it cleaned up and it was starting to walk. Ray had left it alone, which was really good because I was definitely worried about her leaving a little calf alone. But she's perfect, no issues from Hyacinth, uncomplicated birth. I wasn't there, unfortunately. It was, things work out the way that they work out, but I was a little sad because I had gotten up early and worked inside in the morning for a few hours, and then I came outside. So I think she was actually giving birth while I was up and in the house. But came out to a calf. She had it all cleaned up. It was walking. And so everything went really good. This is a Sure Shot Pendleton calf, which is a pretty common one in the mini Jersey world. A lot of people use Pendleton straws, especially because they have heifer select straws from Pendleton, which is what we did. So it's about 90% accurate for the heifer straws. So we got luck was on our side. Got our little heifer. We are planning on keeping her at this point. We have so I've sent in her registration paperwork through IMCBR, which is international. I don't think they have international anymore. I think now it's just MCBR, Miniature Cattle Association, essentially. Which is who Hyacinth is registered through. So there are two registrations. There's the American Mini Jersey Cattle Association, which we're not part of yet. At some point, I'll probably try to transition our cows to that, just because the mini cattle registration has other breeds besides mini Jerseys. Anyway, so I have got the calf's registration papers in, though, is where I'm going with that. So her registered name is Hyacinth's Homemade Gooseberry Wine, and her name for short is Goose. So if you haven't already noticed, our cows, Hyacinth and now Goose, are named after the show Keeping Up Appearances. And like last year, we've had two bull calves from Hyacinth, and we've named them both Sheridan, which is the son of Hyacinth in the show that you never see. So we've had two Sheridans, and this year we're naming the calf off of, there's an episode where Hyacinth, who's the main character, goes to an estate sale and buys homemade gooseberry wine and gets a little tipsy from it. And so that's where we got Goose's name from. So definitely very excited to keep her. Hyacinth is doing great. She is milking out about 3¼ gallons on once a day milking, which is as big as my milking bucket is. So that's as much as I want from her. I had my milking bucket behind me. It's in the sink. I need to get it washed up for today. So Hyacinth is doing great. This year we decided to separate her from her calf immediately. So after I found the calf outside, I moved her into the barn, and then I milked out Hyacinth. And then Hyacinth went right back to her normal area, and she was separated from the calf. And she actually did really good with that. I wish that we had done that for the previous calves. She did go back over to where she had the calf and sniffed around and called a little bit, but because the calf wasn't calling back, I think she just thought she lost it. So she moved on pretty quickly. The calf is fine. We've got the calf inside in the goat maternity ward, and she has two, I put a wether and an intact buckling from our goats in there with her, so she has buddies. And Hyacinth and Ray are out in the field full time. And so since the calf isn't calling back to her, Hyacinth has just moved on. So Hyacinth's last calf, we could not wean him. We did the weaning ring. He would just nurse through it or around it. Hyacinth would stand for him anyway, which is super annoying because even after the calf was 6 months old, well after weaning date, she'd just stand for him and let him nurse. We tried separating him, and he would just bust through any electric fence we had to get back to his mom. And because he was calling for her, Hyacinth would just lose her mind anytime that they were separated. She'd be calling. It would be constant mooing back and forth. And so we eventually just had to sell him. So this year, because we are planning on keeping this calf, we're hoping that by pulling the calf will never associate Hyacinth with being its mom. And so we're hoping she won't try to nurse off Hyacinth when we put them back in the field together. Because we will be bottle raising her until she's about 6 months old, and then we will put her back with the cows. So Hyacinth will get her calf back, but we're hoping that because she's not nursing from Hyacinth, that she won't try to nurse from Hyacinth when we put them back together. So part of the problem, especially with like the dairy cows, is sometimes they will nurse off each other. And like I will look out sometimes and Hyacinth will be trying to nurse off Ray. Ray will be trying to nurse off Hyacinth. Like they just do that. And so I can't have Hyacinth's calves continuously trying to nurse off of her because A, we would be getting less milk. But the problem also is that once the calves get older, they have teeth and they will rip her up, and she will be in a lot of pain from that, and she will continue to nurse them. It also leads for things like if anybody is just nursing off of her, it will open her up for infections, especially once they start ripping her teats up. So we just can't have that. And I can't have her trying to support all of her calves from previous years if I'm trying to keep the calves. Like she will very quickly lose body condition. So it's just better for everyone if the calf does not associate Hyacinth with nursing, because I'm trying to keep this calf. So my plan is, and I'm really hoping it works, there is the potential that it will all be for nothing and the calf will still try to nurse off Hyacinth when we wean her and put her back with the cows. And so if that happens, I really don't want to sell her, but I'm looking at either having different pastures for different cows and having to separate them for different reasons. Like, if that happens, I might have to just keep Goose with the goats. I might have to put 2 of the cows in with the horses. I just don't know yet. Ideally, it will all work out, but, we'll just have to wait and see. So, I'm just standing in the commercial kitchen right now, but I'm very excited to go show you the calf. I'll post here some photos and videos of when she was born. She was 22 inches tall at day 1, which is not the tiniest mini, but also not the biggest. So we were trying to think of the calf sizes of Hyacinth's previous 2 calves, which were bull calves, from both of them were from Rock and Robin's Noble Duke. And I think the first calf was 23 and a half inches at day 1, and this last one was 24. So this is the smallest calf from Hyacinth, which is great. To be a mini at 3 years or above, like their permanent height, they need to be 42 inches at the back. I think technically at the hook bone, but we measure at the top of the back. Hyacinth, right at her permanent height, so now, because she's over 3 years old, is 41 inches at the top of the back. The bull that we had her bred to this time, Pendleton, he's 38 inches. So we're hoping that this one stays mini. And there's some contention about how people estimate the heights. Some people say double the height of double their birth height, and then that will be their most likely, adult height. So if that's the case, she might end up as a mid. But some people also say only add 20 inches. So if she is only going to grow 20 inches taller than what she is now, that will put her right at the top of the mini height. But in all honesty, you just never know, because certain lines grow different ways. So like she might shoot up and then fill out, or she might just continue to grow. So we just really never know. And so, but it is hopeful that she will stay mini, because like the bull calf from last year, when he was born at 24, like he's probably going to end up a mid. So, so that happened 2 weeks ago. Julia was not home for it. She was visiting family in Washington. I was not here for it, but so we're hoping maybe next year we're both around for Hyacinth's calf. I feel like Hyacinth is on a trend, like a downward trend of us being there. So the first year she had a calf, we were both home, got to witness the birth. I helped deliver the calf. Then the second year, last year's calf, I was gone. I was on a rafting trip and Julia was home. And then this year, neither of us were here for it. So hopefully next year we'll be back to us both being home for the calf. In any case, so Hyacinth is milking great. It's been 2 weeks. Typically, Hyacinth will go back into heat from between 2 to 3 months after her birth. So, and that puts her on a yearly calf cycle. So she's either had a calf. This year we got a little early. So this year she was May, but the previous two were both born at the end of June. So she will be bred back to another heifer slack straw from a different bull. This one is Cedar Ridge Otis. We have 2 straws of his in our AI Tech's tank. So we've got her next 2 years worth of calves planned. So well, either her 2 years, or depending on what Goose does, we might breed Goose back to Cedar Ridge Otis for her first calf. It just depends. But in any case, Hyacinth will be bred to Cedar Ridge Otis this next time, and we probably will keep that calf too. So then we'll have 3 mini girls at least that will kind of be the start of our herd. So that's our big cow update. I'm actually about to take more milk and go feed the calf anyway, so I will show you the calf. She is so cute. She does not have any paint on her, which we were really hoping for, but I do think she's going to end up being mulberry like her mom, because Pendleton is a painted bull, and so he throws a lot of white. But I do need to look up his official color, but in his photos it does look like he's got a bit of mulberry. And so him combined with Hyacinth, who is mulberry, I think that Goose is going to go that way. Right now she looks fawn, which if I think of it, I'll insert here some photos of Goose as a baby and Hyacinth as a baby, because she's a spitting image of Hyacinth as a calf. Like, you would not know the difference. And Hyacinth she looked fawn when she was born, and so does this calf. But if you look at the base of her hair, it's very dark. So I do think she's gonna go mulberry. So Hyacinth has done great on the milk stand. Last year she had edema pretty bad, which is like fluid, especially near birth. So here's her milk. You can see the cream line on this. So it's really yellow right now so far this year. That is not colostrum, because they are out on alfalfa and grass right now. So Hyacinth's milk has been looking really rich, and I have not been graining her on the milk stand. I've actually offered grain to her, just like a scoop, to kind of entice her to come in. She has turned her nose up at it. So they're out on alfalfa. Good girl, Hyacinth. You're a good girl too, Ray. We got a heifer calf. Yes, we do. Come on, Hansel. Come on, baby. So she's picked up her milk bucket pretty well. Yeah, I'm talking about you. So her 2 goat buddies that I got her in with, I have to, yeah, you're okay. I have to kick out while she eats because I had her, so it's called a peach teat, and I had it in their stall with them, and I didn't think the goats would pick it up, but they did almost immediately, so they're trying to unwean themselves. And so I've got it outside here in the main area, the milking area, and so I put the goats in with the goats, and then I give her time to eat. She's so easy. Those are the baby goats screaming bloody murder over there. Hi, are you really done? Time with the bucket 3 times a day, and we do no overnight feedings. She is so much easier than the goat kids. Oh my gosh. Julie and I keep going back and forth on the goats. They are so loud. So she gets access to the bucket 3 times a day. So this is our morning feeding. I generally come out between 7 to 8:30. And then I've been milking Hyacinth in the afternoon between 12:30 to 1:30. And so after that, I give her some time with the bucket. And then we come and do it again about 8 to 9 p.m. And she picked it up within like I think that was between the 2nd or the 3rd day. So we did bottles before the bucket and then introduced her to the bucket. And she picked it up great. She's so easy. I was really afraid of her like scouring, skirt, I think maybe scurs, which is essentially like diarrhea. And I see why it's common. I hardly thought she was eating at all the first couple of days. You know, they sleep a lot the first few days and they don't really get their appetite yet. And so it would be really easy to overfeed, especially with these minis. And it would be like the first day she ate great. And the second day she didn't want to eat hardly anything, and so I really worried the second day. And then the 3rd day she was eating, and then, you know, by the 4th day she had picked up her appetite and was on the bucket and was fine. But compared to the goat kids who, like the first few days you bottle feed every 3 to 5 hours, including overnight, she is so easy. Really love her. And she's polled, so she's not going to get horns. And we're going to send off her hairs to do her genetic testing, but she's either heteropolled or homopolled. And she should be A1A2 or A2A2 by parentage, because the bull we bred her dad, the bull we bred Hyacinth to, is A2A2, and her mom, Hyacinth, is A1A2. So she's either A1A2 or A2A2. She's doing great. You can see she's starting to shake a little, which means she's getting full. But she's so quiet. You know, we love our goats, don't get me wrong. We've spent a lot of money and time with the goats. And the further you get into it, the harder it is to stop, you know, like just give the goats up because you've invested so much into them. But with how easy she's been and how quiet, oh man, listening to screaming goats it gets old really quick. So we'll just have to see, especially like if horse boarding goes well, and I do enjoy horse boarding, and we have more horses. I mean, I could get to the point where I just say, look, I just want to do horse boarding, and I just want to have cows, and give up the goats. We just go down to our favorites. It's, especially with Noni passing this year, who is my favorite. We still have Julia's favorite, who's Go-Go, and now we have 2 daughters from Go-Go. So like we might get to the point where we just keep a few, and we just put them in with the cows. We'll see. Especially where the goats are right now in the barn, that would be in a great area for cows. Or I could do horse stalls. I could probably fit at least 4 to 5 stalls where the goats are right now. We've also toyed around with the idea of having more donkeys, because we really like Wicket. And we could have a whole area just for donkeys and adult cows, depending on, how the donkeys do. Donkeys are, I feel like, a toss-up, and a lot of people say don't use them for guardians. Wicket, our donkey, who is a jack, a lot of people think he's a John. He is a jack. He just does not act like a jack, which means he is intact. So, and we have had Hyacinth and her calf from last year in with him, and Wicket has guarded them. That's not always the case with donkeys. So I would feel okay with donkeys with our adult cows, because they would be a little bit bigger than the donkeys. But I would not just trust a bunch of donkeys with a calf this size. That would be horrible. And I would not trust donkeys with our goats, like untested. I might at some point try Wicket with our goats, but it would be supervised only for a long time before I would ever just throw them out together. And it would be adult goats, not goat kids. It's really funny how, see, that's the goat screaming to get let back in. Are you full yet? You look full. Are you in milk coma? Yeah, you. I'm talking about you. And Hyacinth loves to be scratched under her neck, and so does Goose. It's just adorable. That is one thing we had learned, kind of following other cow people on Facebook, is especially with taming your cows and your calves, you want to scratch them under the chin, on the chin, on the underside of their head, and not the top of their head. Just because if you encourage scratching on the top of their head, they will be more likely to come up to you with their head down and try to butt you, which is going to get really dangerous when they're bigger. She's only a mini, but can you imagine a standard cow trying to come up and headbutt you all the time? So if you get them used to putting their head up to be scratched, they're more likely to stop in front of you and put their head up, which is a much safer position for you to be in when they're adults. Because like Hyacinth will come up to us and put her head up, and so she'll be stopped. But if you encourage them getting pet on the top of the head, they're gonna be more likely to come up and kind of smack you. So she's getting full. You can see she's starting to shake a little bit. I don't know if you can see that. She's starting to shake a little bit, and she looks, it's funny, like even after bottle they look so much bigger. Like she'll fluff out and her stomach will look very full. So, especially because she is going to be a future milk cow, I spend a lot of time out here with her. I've been touching her all over, like her legs, her stomach, her rump, because you want them to be very familiar with being handled. I've been picking up her feet. She has had a halter on just briefly, but we'll start working on leading her around You want them to be very friendly. You do not want a wild milk cow. Just so if we end up keeping her, she's going to be great for us, or if we end up selling her, whoever is buying her won't be getting an untamed cow to, deal with. And so we're just trying to make her very tame. She's been growing great. She's already significantly bigger. She's trying to hang on. She's got the very cute little white tip at the end of her tail too. Hi, are you done? Are you done? Yeah, I think you're done. Okay, let's let you loud, but. So after her bottle or bucket, she tends to get the zoomies. She's super cute. Oh, big girl. Do you guys need some more grain today? You've got lots of hay. And I think you need more water too, huh? I think you need a little bit more bedding too. Yeah. So we're all done. She doesn't want to go back outside. She likes it in the barn. Especially the flies have been starting to get pretty bad outside. So she's wearing her fly mask, and she got sprayed with the fly spray this morning. So she should be fine. And honestly, it's pretty overcast today, so the flies shouldn't be that bad. But she's happy. You ready? She's just chewing her cud. You ready? Come on. Come on, let's go see Ray. Come on. Come on. So I wanted to share this with you guys. It's not cow related, but
I was out mowing the other day and I ran across this fawn. Um, I got so close to it. I'm glad I saw it. But there she is. I think it was probably less than 24 hours old. Thanks for joining us. Hope you have a great week, and we'll catch you next time.